Okay, these birds here are my feeder birds, and they're getting real close to being ready to butcher. And I don't have a chicken plucker yet, and I am not plucking these by hand. Okay, so here's what I've got for parts so far. I had to buy this. I bought this from Chicken Plucker Parts.com, I think it might be. I'll have to look that up. I'll put a link in the description. They had the best price for these. This is called a Featherplate, and your rubber chicken fingers are gonna stick through there. This shaft here is a 1-inch shaft. It's gonna bolt on right there, and I just got a couple of bearing plates for it. And you need a motor. This is one I had laying around. This is a 1 horsepower, and I got this given to me, this plastic barrel, which I cut about a third of it off, and now I'm just building the frame for it. I just got a few 2x4s here. I'm just going to build the frame to get it up off the ground, to mount the motor where I want it, and that's kind of the boring part. Anybody can do that quite simply, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you when I'm done, and you can see kind of how I designed it. Okay, so I'll step back and show you. I got my basic frame made for this. I'm probably going to add a guy going there all the way around on the bottom and put wheels there. This is kind of the way it's going to be. I'm going to probably mount a little hose in here to spray water down. The motor's going to spin this. That's going to have the fingers on it. And there's going to be more fingers around here. My chicken plucker fingers came in the mail today, so I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this feather plate together. I've done a few of them before I got the camera out, kind of figured out the easiest way to do it. You try to put these in dry, and it doesn't work real well because there's quite a lip here. This kind of reminds me of a valve stem for a tire. Very similar. So they go in pretty hard until they get to the lip there. So what I did is I just used a little bit of silicone spray. Spray it down a little bit. Get it through most of the way. There. It's in. Probably noticed I put this outer one in upside down, and I did that so I can adjust the height. I'm going to have a bottom, leave the bottom in this, and I'm just going to cut out one end, and I'm going to have a couple of these upside down to knock the feathers in the water out the side. I thought this would be better than just leaving the whole bottom open. I've seen a few videos of guys that did it this way, and it seems to be a big improvement over the original design. So I'm going to do that. And you probably notice the difference. These holes are chamfered on the one side, and it lets you push them up in this way real easy, a lot easier than if it wasn't chamfered. And you probably noticed that when I put this one in upside down, because there was no chamfer on this side, so it was way more difficult to install. So when you order one of these feather plates, make sure you get one that is chamfered. It's worth the extra money. I don't know if you could see how much I was struggling. You would have been struggling that much with, you will be struggling that much with every single one if you get one that's not chamfered. So the next thing I got to do is drop this down in. Got a hole in the bottom there for the shaft here, and figure out the height I want this to be, the plate to be off the floor. And then I have to, once I figure that out, I'll know where to drill the holes for the fingers in the side of the barrel. So that's what I got to do next. So I decided to add another hole right here. I drilled out a 3/4 inch hole in the feather plate because I didn't want to take another one of these and flip it and have a hole. So I just drilled a new hole, 2 sticking down here, And those are going to spin around the bottom here and hopefully push all the feathers out the hole there down the chute into a bucket with holes in it. Was put the feather plate on and lower it down until these fingers are just right at the bottom, like just barely touching maybe the bottom of the drum. And then I'm going to tighten everything up and call it good.
What I've done now is I've been drilling my 3/4 inch holes in the barrel. And you can see I got the bottom row of fingers on. I just realized I missed that one. I drilled a pilot hole, and then I'm hitting it with a 3/4 inch bit, and then spraying these this part up with silicone spray, and then pulling them through. I'm going to do the 2 rows here, do a few rows going up, maybe 6 rows going up, and call it good. That kind of is supposed to keep the chicken from going up the wall too far. It's supposed to hit those, I guess, and then drop back down in. Also, I've got the motor mounted, and what I'm going to do with this is an odd motor that I had laying around. This is a 1 horsepower. Turns way too many RPMs, so I have to have the tiniest pulley on, like 1.5 inch pulley on the motor, and a huge like 19-inch pulley, or almost 19-inch was the biggest I could find on the feather plate. Yeah, it's just a huge pulley. So here's where we're at right now. I have all the fingers in. You can see I got them all drilled out now, all installed. I used like 140 some. Still doesn't. So that's it working. The noise is from underneath, I believe, the fingers that I put upside down. Smacking in different places on here because this is not real even for height. I think I have my barrel a little bit cattywampus on there. They're going to go something like that to keep the motor from getting wet from any spray from the hose. The hose, I got a T to go here. That way I can run this all the way around the top and have these guys pointing down in, and then I'll probably drill a hole between everyone too to get more water out. And then I'm just going to have probably a little valve right here, disconnect. So I kind of want to get a 90 to put on here so I can have this like this, because I'm going to stand here working. My switch is down here. Chicken Plucker is ready to go now. We're going to be butchering in just a couple days. So I thought I'd just do a quick walk around. Got all the fingers put in. Plate is installed. I actually put some sealant underneath the plate where the bearing block bolts down to the plastic drum. So hopefully we'll have less water going out there. We want as much water as we can to come out the chute with the feathers. A bucket down here with some holes in it, so that hopefully the water will drain out and we'll just collect feathers. Our waterproof switch on. I got it kind of tucked under here. My water sprays out really good right here and doesn't get over here very good, so hopefully I won't get electrocuted. Got a nice extension cord to plug it in, and I built this for my water hose. Plugs in, and then it's got the valve for turning the water on and off and adjusting how much we have coming out of the sprinklers. Chicken butchering time, and I'm just going to cut off its feet just so they don't get tangled up and break the legs while it's spinning around. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I will start the machine and show you how it works. Feet are cut off. It's sitting in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on. I'll step back so you can see it's just a kid's sprinkler. Helps wash the feathers down. I'm going to go ahead and throw the switch. Step back a little bit. And we got a little bit more to go. You can see the feathers flying right out. That's a bucket with holes in it, so the feathers just collect in there. Let's take a look again. I should have probably had this one in the water a little bit more, Looks like I'm still going to have to pluck a little on this one. We'll give it another shot here. Okay, we're going to call that good enough. I'm just going to have to pull a few feathers out of the tail. Probably a couple out of the wings. But overall, not too bad. Clean it up a little bit. I'm going to hit it with the torch and burn any hair off. You got yourself a nice looking bird there.